They thought escaping the house meant safety, that the darkness they left behind would stay buried beneath rotting floorboards and forgotten names. But Ashbrook has never let go of its dead, and now, something older has begun to stir. Something that doesn't live in shadow but in splinters, in walls, in wood. The bell tower, long silent, is speaking again, and it's calling them by name. Watch, if you're brave enough. But be warned, in Ashbrook, even the trees remember what was taken, and they want it back.
Part 1. Things that whisper in wood, the sound of crunching underfoot. Breathless, frantic. The group stumbles from the collapsed floor of the burned orphanage, gasping in the cold night air like survivors clawing their way out of a dream they aren't sure has ended. Kayla. We're out, right? Tell me we're out. Grant, I don't know. I don't think so. They're standing on a narrow dirt path surrounded by trees that seem closer than before. Gnarled, black-veined, wet with dew and something darker. Mist coils low across the ground like something alive, hugging their legs. Nora, pale and scraped from the fall, clutches her arm. Elias steadies her. Nora, where the hell are we, Elias? I don't know, but the orphanage is gone. Look, they all turn, behind. Them, nothing. The way they came has vanished. No structure, no broken earth, just trees, thicker than before, tangled like veins. Kayla. It was right there. It burned. We all saw it burn. Grant. Or it showed us what it wanted to. Travis, listen. A low sound rises behind the silence. Not footsteps, not an animal. A long, aching groan. Wood bending, straining, as if the forest itself were shifting. Kayla. That's not wind. They freeze. Somewhere ahead, through a break in the mist, something looms, a shape. Wooden, leaning, covered in moss and time. They approach slowly, the ground damp and soft beneath their shoes. The structure stands like something exhumed from beneath the roots. A warped building, its slouching spine rising above the mist like a gallows tower. Not quite a chapel, not quite a watchtower. Something between, built from salvaged wood, mismatched planks, stained and scarred, as if each piece was torn from a different ruin. Nora. That's not on any map, Elias. Or it wasn't until we got here. As they move closer, the carvings become visible. The planks are etched, thousands of them, rough lines and crude shapes, childlike names, stick figure drawings, and some of the silhouettes. They look like the group. Kayla, no. No, that's not us. Grant, that one has my hat. That one's you, Kayla. That's Kayla. Stop. The structure groans again. The air thickens. Nora, do you hear that? Travis. Yeah, it's in the wood. They stop. Whispers, faint and directionless, like something trapped inside the trees, just beneath the bark. Elias. It's not the wind. He touches one of the planks, carved with a name, May. Beneath it, a crude drawing of a little girl with her hands over her eyes. Travis runs his fingers along another plank. Suddenly, a bead of blood wells up beneath the carving. It runs down the grain like sap. Travis. Jesus. It bled. It fucking bled. Grant. We have to go. Now. We're not supposed to be here. Kayla. Wait. Above them, the trees bend inward slightly. Not by wind, but as if responding. The ground beneath their feet shudders. Shifts. They try to run. The trees lean. The path behind them folds in. The forest moves, not violently but deliberately, guiding them, herding them. Forward, to the structure. It rises taller now, or seems to. Its wooden doorway pulses like a wound. The carvings glisten. They stop at the threshold, breath caught in their throats. Then, a voice. From within the dark, no source visible. It does not sound human. It groans like bark tearing apart, like the first breath of something that's been buried too long. You brought it back. Now finish it. Part 2. Where names soak through the grain. The group stands before the crooked doorway. The forest behind them is no longer just thick. It's impenetrable. Trees bend and arch together like ribs, forming a cage of blackened bark and muttering. Leaves, branches twist like veins. Some of them twitch faintly as if in anticipation. Nora, it's alive. Grant, and it doesn't want us leaving. Kayla, no choice. We go forward. Elias' camera is still rolling. Not touching it. Travis. Then let it catch what's coming. They push open the wooden door, and the air changes. Warm, damp, heavy with rot, and something like pennies left in a jar too long. The inside is impossible. Vast, crooked, non-Euclidean. The architecture loops in on itself like a Mobius strip made of decaying timber. Rooms stack sideways, hallways bend into arches, and the floor groans with every footstep like it resents being stepped on. The walls pulse with slow condensation, and everywhere, the mannequins. Child-sized wooden mannequins, slumped against the walls. Some missing arms, others with hollow cavities where faces should be. Their heads are turned at impossible angles. Some look up, others toward the group. Nora, what the hell are these? Kayla, don't touch them. Travis, did you hear that? A faint whispering, not from the mannequins, but from inside the walls. Then a click. Elias's camera turns on by itself. Elias. I didn't. It just started. The screen glows dimly. He lifts it, points it at the room. As they walk, the camera plays back what it records. Each frame, identical to the room around them, but with one difference. A figure, not there in real life, but present in the video. A tall, thin shape, just behind them, unmoving. Then in the next frame, it's closer. Grant, you're seeing that too, right? Nora, is it following us? Travis. No, it's waiting. They enter another hallway. The wood gets darker here, not painted, but burned, charred down the grain. The mannequins are fewer, but the walls are etched. Names, dozens of them. Kayla. Their feet, carved in. She steps forward. Kayla. They're changing. When looked at directly, the names remain still. But when they glance away, the lettering shifts, like it's rearranging itself beneath the surface. Nora. No. 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 She points. Her name. Nora Glass. Etched into the panel like it had always been there. Below it, Grant DeWitt. Then Kayla Moss. Each in the same handwriting, same tool marks. Nora. They were here before we were born, before we ever came to Ashbrook. Grant, or we were always meant to be here. Kayla, or we were here. Before. Travis, screw this. He finds his own name, Travis Wells, and starts carving into the wood around it, trying to erase it. As he digs, the wall bleeds. Not red, but amber, like sap. Suddenly, a deep creak, the floor groans beneath them. A rumble, distant, but climbing. Elias. Something's moving. Dust falls from above. Nora. It's above us. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Pacing. A thump. Then another. The group backs away, eyes glued to the ceiling boards. Mannequins shift slightly, in the ambient tremor as if listening to, then the silence. The footsteps stop, directly above them. No one breathes. Kayla. Don't move. Don't... Crack. The floor beneath her splinters. A long crack spreads outward like a spider web. And from the fracture, a finger. Pale. Wooden. Human-sized. It pokes through from below, curling, slightly as it pushes up between the boards, tapping the air as if feeling for someone. Kayla stares down at it. It stops moving. Taps. Once. Part 3. Roots in the mind. A hollow crack and a scream. Kayla crashes through splintered floorboards, falling hard onto twisted soil and damp roots. She groans, blinking in the low amber glow leaking from above. The chamber she's in isn't constructed. It's grown. The walls are curved, lined with knots and warped wooden ribs, like she's inside the hollow trunk of something that once lived, or still does. Breath echoes softly, but not hers. Above, muffled shouts. "Grant, Kayla! Are you?" Crunch. Nora lands nearby, coughing, followed by Travis and Elias. They steady themselves, staring at their surroundings. The air is thicker, moist, pungent, with decay and mildew. And they're not alone. All around them, mannequins. The same child-sized wooden forms from above, but they're standing now. Upright, facing the group. Closer. Their faces are more detailed than before. Still unfinished, but disturbingly familiar. Like someone tried sculpting the group's features from a faded memory. Kayla. They look like us. Nora. Not quite. Travis. Like bad copies, half remembered. Elias lifts his camera. It begins to static. Before he even hits record, Elias. Something's interfering again. He lowers it. The mannequins haven't moved, yet. A thick creaking echoes deeper in. Kayla spots it. A narrow, crooked staircase spiraling downward along the inner curve of the chamber. Kayla. It goes deeper. Travis. Of course it does. They move toward the stairs, past mannequins that seem to breathe slightly, creaking in their joints. As they descend, the walls change. More roots, more moisture. The air clings to them, full of fungal musk and something sweet, like rot turned ripe. Then, the whispering starts. But it doesn't come from the walls or from the shadows. It comes from inside. Nora suddenly slows, her eyes wide. Nora. Dad? Travis. What? Nora. He's calling me. No one else hears it. Elias freezes, his hand trembling near his camera. A burst of static rings in his ears. Rhythmic, electric. Then, distorted voice. Record. 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 Elias clutches his head. Travis, snap out of it. Kayla spins around, a child's cry. Her name echoed in a sob. Child's voice. Kayla. Please. Please don't leave again. Kayla. Where are you? She runs toward a split in the wall, but there's no hallway there. Yet for a moment, she sees one. A door. Just ahead. Then it's gone. Grant stops walking, eyes glassy, fixed. He reaches out and gently touches the wall. The roots curl faintly beneath his hand as if reaching back. Kayla, Grant. He doesn't respond. Grant, it's always been here. Waiting, Travis. He's tranced out. They circle him, nervous. Then, Grant's eyes roll back, and he speaks, but it's not his voice. Voice, via Grant. You cracked the roots and fed the flame. We watched you turn. Nora. Back off. Back off. They restrain him. Travis holding his arms. Kayla shouting his name. Elias trains the camera, but the footage blurs. Grant. You broke the ring. Now we return. Kayla, Grant. Look at me. Grant convulses, then stills, and Nora gasps. Nora. His arms. His skin. They look. Veins. His veins are turning black, branching out under the skin, like charcoal drawn by a child's frantic hand, or like roots crawling from within. Kayla. Oh God. The blackened veins pulse once, and Grant's eyes flutter. Then, he collapses, breathing, barely. Travis, it's not just in the house. Nora, it's in us. Part 4. The Root That Remembers. Grant thrashes on the ground, skin slick with sweat, veins blackened and branching beneath his skin, crawling up his throat and arms like ink dissolving in water. His chest rises and falls in jagged bursts. The veins pulse. Kayla is at his side, gripping his face gently. Kayla Grant. Look at me. It's me, Kayla, Ashbrook Park. You almost broke your ankle trying to impress me on the monkey bars. His eyes twitch, lids fluttering. Nora looks away, panicked. Travis, it's spreading faster. Kayla, you swore you saw something in the trees that day, a girl. But I didn't believe you. You cried when we left. Grant blinks. Focus sharpens. He meets her eyes. Recognition. Grant K? Kayla. Yes, I'm here then. He jerks forward and vomits a black mass. A wet thud on the floor. They recoil. A clump of rotting wood, slick with sap and dark threads, sits steaming on the ground, like a heart carved from rot. Nora. What the hell is that? Travis. Whatever's in him. It's growing. The room groans. Low and ancient, like old wood settling beneath the weight of something terrible. Behind them, the spiral staircase buckles. Crash. Their way back is gone. Elias. It's sealing us in. Theus. Walls shift slightly, only by inches, but enough to be wrong. Each corner now twists, leading somewhere unfamiliar. Travis. The layout's changing. Kayla. It's alive. It's moving on purpose. As they steady Grant, they turn and freeze. The mannequins have returned. Closer, arranged in a half circle around a strange doorway, crafted from twisted antlers, brittle bark, and lengths of hanging vine. The doorway hums. From beyond it, a low chime, dull and wet, like a bell submerged in water, echoes faintly. Nora whispers. There's something behind it. She leans closer, just barely, through the cracks between antlers and bark. Eyes, blinking, watching. Travis, whatever's through there, it's waiting. They push the door open, a narrow corridor, lined with mirrors, but none show the group, no reflections. Instead, childhood bedrooms, old, quiet family dinners, funerals, each mirror a scene from one of their lives. But always, something is off. A shadow in a corner, a smile too wide, a parent staring a little too long at the camera. Kayla walks slowly, watching. Kayla, that's my old bedroom. She pauses. In the reflection, she's a child, kneeling by her bed. But something looms in the window behind her, a tall shape, motionless, with fingers pressed to the glass. Travis. I don't like this. Nora sees a funeral, her mother's, but the figure in the casket blinks. Elias's flashlight catches one particular mirror, and he stops. He steps back, jaw clenched, a face in the reflection just turned. Slowly, staring directly at him, it begins to smile. The mirror cracks, a hairline fracture spreads like lightning. Kayla, keep moving, keep moving. From the far end of the hallway, a sound. Drag, slap, drag, slap, wet, dragging footsteps, slow, deliberate, getting closer. Travis, we're not alone in here. Kayla, we never were. Part 5. The roots beneath the mirror. The group runs. Their footfalls echo like hammered nails, loud and arrhythmic against the warped wood. But each echo repeats, doubled, mirrored behind the glass. Something else is running too. Behind the reflections, Kayla, it's stretching. This hallway's longer than it was. Nora, it's not a hallway anymore. It's a trap. The corridor bends unnaturally, curving subtly inward like ribs tightening, like a beast exhaling. In the mirrors, figures flicker in and out, watching, mimicking, grinning. Their lips move, silently mouthing things the group can't. Here Kayla catches a flash of herself, but younger, a child version, standing in a familiar room. Except the child's eyes are black, ancient, and unblinking. The child speaks, no sound, just lips moving. We remember what you forgot. Grant falls to his knees, choking, gasping. He coughs out splinters dry and sharp, like shards of a wooden lung. Then, in a voice that isn't his, Grant, it comes through roots. It listens through wood. It drinks memory. It grows in silence. Kayla, what the hell is Nora? Get him up, now! Travis and Nora reach the end of the corridor, a swollen, warped door, almost weeping sap from the seams. They push together. Wood groans. Crack. It bursts open. Int. Altar room. Night a circular chamber, as though carved from the inside of a massive dead tree. Walls of bark, striped and knotted, slick with moisture and age. The air is thick with the scent of rot, iron, and fresh sap. On the floor, dried leaves and small bones. Everything is damp, breathing subtly as if the entire room is alive. In the center stands a crude altar stacked from twisted antlers, children's bones vines wrapped tight like ligatures, and resting atop, a wooden idol. No face, no mouth, only hands, carved where eyes should be. Elias lifts his camera, but it flickers violently. His flashlight beam sweeps across the walls, and they all see it. Their shadows aren't theirs. Each shadow moves a beat too late, each one slightly off, bending joints the wrong way, twitching. Then, one shadow raises its hand. None of them have moved. Travis. Did someone? Kayla takes a step forward, drawn, eyes wide, breath slow. She moves toward the idol as if pulled. The idol shifts, just slightly. Its head turns with the painful creak of old wood splintering beneath weight. The group freezes. Then, a whisper, not in the room, but inside their skulls. All you brought us light. We will give you roots. A moment of dead silence. Then the floor shifts, a low, sticky groan beneath them. The ground bulges, then settles, like something is turning over in sleep. Below, Elias. Something's waking up. Beneath their feet, bark begins to crack. From between the boards, thin roots like fingers begin to stretch upward, searching, grasping. Part 6. The One Who Listens. The floor shifts beneath them like a living chest breathing in panic. The timber groans and bends as the roots erupt upward, twisting, pulsing with a thick, dark sap that drips like blood from a fresh wound. Travis, move. A root lunges fast as a whip. He yanks Kayla back, but not fast enough. The root scrapes her calf. She stumbles, gasping. Kayla, I'm fine. It just... She looks down. Blackened veins already bloom beneath her skin, creeping up like a spider's. Web of rot, Grant, eyes wide, falls to his knees. The idol, that faceless blind thing, begins to bleed sap from where a mouth should be, and still, it does not move. But they hear it, inside them. A rising tide of whispers layered over whispers. A chorus of thousands just under the threshold of understanding. The idol feed the soil, or be taken. The roots surge upward, climbing walls, curling toward them like fingers in search of flesh. Nora scans the room in panic, then spots it, a small square panel, low to the floor, carved into the wall behind the altar. She rushes forward, pries it open, revealing a dark tunnel, barely wide enough to crawl through. Inside, carvings, rough and primitive. Children, on hands and knees, feeding trees with outstretched arms. Nora, in here, go. One by one, they crawl inside, the roots hissing behind them as if frustrated. The tunnel shudders, groaning like a disappointed god. The passage twists and narrows, walls tight with splinters, grooves, and old scratches, like claws had raked. Along them for centuries, they crawl in silence, except for the subtle thrum beneath their palms, as though the wood has a heartbeat. Then, the tunnel opens into a massive chamber. Wooden cathedral room. Night a colossal space, shaped like an organ or the inside of a tree grown hollow over time. The ceiling vanishes into shadow. Massive wooden pipes rise like bones toward the unseen roof. Elias lifts his camera, but it's dead. He lowers it. Elias, you feel that? The air hums faintly, like a note held in a dying throat. Travis, what is this place? No answer. They move through the cathedral-like chamber, boots brushing dried leaves and old cloth. Kayla stops. Before her, a coffin, carved entirely from a single massive log, open, empty, inside, etched with meticulous care. For the one who listens. Nora, don't look at it too long. Kayla, I hear something, a faint humming, barely audible. It sounds like a lullaby, familiar and terribly wrong. Then, silence. Too quiet. Grant, something's wrong. They press forward until the tunnel dead ends, a smooth wall of polished, veined wood. Then, without a sound, it opens. A single circular window appears in the grain. It doesn't show outside. It shows them, standing there, from behind. In the reflection, one of them moves, but none of them did. Travis, wait, who just... The camera clicks on. Alone. A breath, long and close. Not theirs. And then, a voice. Grant's voice, but twisted, old, with centuries behind it. Grant's voice. It's already in the walls.
You heard it, didn't you? That voice? Not from outside, but from behind your eyes. The walls didn't just watch them. They listened. And now they know the sound of your breath. Ashbrook's roots run deeper than anyone imagined. And what sleeps beneath the wood is starting to wake. In the next episode, the silence won't be empty. The tunnels under Ashbrook whisper names, and one of them is yours. Click into episode 6. The Unhollowing. But be warned, you can't unhear what's buried below.